Hey you guys, it is your girl. Welcome back to my channel. It's the Esoteric Empress here, and today I'm coming to you with a topic about wealth creation once again. Yes, I love talking about wealth. I love talking about wealth management, increasing your prosperity and abundance naturally, without harming anybody, without being a crook, without, getting a bad reputation. Just doing it naturally, the God-given way that He has fitted all of us with mentally, the capacity to be able to tap into success, to tap into wealth, to tap into richness, to tap into your divine, birthright to success. I was sitting down talking about this with someone, but I could not continue the topic because obviously my mind and their mind were not the same. And that's not only frustrating, but it's like futile, because you're not gonna, nobody's really hearing one another if you're not agreeing. And you can tell when someone's not in agreement with you. You can tell by the way, you can tell their thought process by the responses that you get. Sometimes I'm talking about something and I think I hit the nail on the head. I'm like, yes, like I have to say this point. Let me just add this in here. And the second I say it, I'm waiting for like this agreement and I get sidetracked with something completely different. Like, I'm talking about, when I say sidetrack, I mean sidetracked, okay? Like the topic goes to like ISIS or something like that. Like it's nowhere near what I'm discussing, what the topic is. But anyway, today we're talking about, rare secrets of the super rich and how we're gonna get there one day. How obviously if I'm doing these videos and stuff like that, I'm not super rich as yet monetarily, financially, but in my mind I'm rich. And so I know that the material part of it is going to come through eventually. I'm just gonna stick with it. Just stick with it because it feels good. It feels good to have your mind in an elevated place. It feels good to not be feeling like, a lowly worm. It feels good to feel like, a living son or daughter of the Most High. And so that's what I'm talking about today. I'm yelling, right? Oh my God. Kevin Trudeau. I don't know how many of you guys know him, but he is super, super successful, super wealthy, and he's written about a bunch of books. The one that I first got was about maybe in 2005, I want to say, or so, something like that. And it was some miracle cures. It was the book that really blew up. Best-selling book, Miracle Cures. And I didn't really hear about him since that. But it was a great book, by the way. So it is Kevin Trudeau who's talking about this topic today that I found somewhere on YouTube. And I just thought I would reiterate some of the things that he's mentioning in this lecture and touch on it for a little bit, because I really at this point don't mind how long this video is this time. I usually try to keep them a little shorter, but like I said, when I'm talking about this kind of topic, I really don't mind how long I go, because if you're already interested in watching my video, if you're here, that means your heart is seeking, your mind is seeking, and you're ready to like begin this whole process. You're ready to transform your life, okay, starting with your mind. So like I said, once again, thanks so much for watching. We're on this journey together, and I'm so appreciative. I'm just loving the sharing. I'm loving all the love that I'm getting from you guys, and I'm just gonna keep doing what I love. All right, so let's go. Top secrets or rare secrets of the super rich. So the first thing I want to talk about is that Kevin Trudeau actually talks about is, where did I write that? I always mixed up my list. Like I always mix it up. Like I have to go bullet by bullet instead of number by number, because they're all over the place, basically. And I just write the topic and just go from there on a wind, So the first thing that he talks about is being teachable. Being teachable. That's very important. And that's something, the reason why I'm talking about these things is because a lot of them I have already come to understand. I've already come to realize that that is the problem with most people, why they don't reach the financial status they wish to, because they have to get their mind right first. And their mind is nowhere near being in sync, being conducive to producing wealth and maintaining wealth. Okay? So being teachable is the first thing that we talk about in this video today, because in order for you to learn anything, you have to be willing to say that something you don't know. You have to be willing to be able to humble yourself enough to be taught something. You have to be able to be coachable. You have to be able to listen. You have to be able to take in what you're hearing, the information, the knowledge, the wisdom, you know, and find truth in it. You have to, it has to resonate with your soul somewhat, as well as the fact as teachable, being teachable means also your willingness to change must also be, you know, supple. Like you have to be able to be fluid and be able to kind of transform some thoughts of yours, because now the things that you're being taught, they don't apply if you don't apply them. So you're gonna have to get in this big, beautiful, magnificent mind and brain of yours and start to like get knowledge, start to like hoard knowledge, start to, if it's something I think you should be hoarded, it's education, it's knowledge. So, and of course not garbage. I mean good knowledge of where we want to be, like, you know, what we're aspiring to. You have to be able to change your mind. And it's okay to change your mind. As adults, a lot of times we think we're so wishy-washy, we're all over the place, because we're like, oh, well, I need to stick to something, I need to stick to this. And you find people in the same profession, you find people doing the same thing day in and day out for the rest of their lives because of their inability to change their mind. They may have been able to be taught, they may have been very teachable, but at the same time, they're not ready to change themselves from within, you know? So that's number one. From within, so without. As above, so below. I like to say that. That's the name of my channel. So we have to get this fixed first in order for everything else out on the outside to change. The second thing is, like I said, this is a part of being teachable, but this is the second part. This is number 2. Gaining knowledge. We have to be knowledge and truth seekers. We have to not be afraid to learn new things. We have to open our minds and our eyes and our inner eyes and everything to a new experience. We have to be able to learn. We have to consciously seek out knowledge, because most of the knowledge that you have now, things like this topic, Rare Secrets of the Super Rich, how many rich people are there out there sharing this with us, like really wanting us all to have what they have? Not a lot. So we are the ones who have to now go out and seek, and that's what we shall find. We have to ask, and it shall be given. Knock, and the door will be opened unto you. Okay? So I am not in no way, in any way, arguing. I am not like, you know, my goal one day is, you know, I love speaking to people. I love sharing my knowledge that I've learned. So just let me calm down. Woosah. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm just passionate. I'm excited about this. And I guess I want you to be excited as well. So, like I said, you have to be the seeker of knowledge. You have to be the one out there putting in the effort to find truth, to find education, to educate yourself. You have to go out there and read books. You have to, like, people say, oh, well, you know, everybody is a writer. Everybody has a book now. This is what I hear in my community, okay? People say, oh, well, everybody can write. I need to go write a book for myself. Maybe you should write a book, and I might read it. Because why? I love reading. I love where it takes you. Just the other day, let me just tell this story, right? The power of reading. Of course, you know, in school they say read to lead, and it's the truth. listen to this. There's a schoolmate of mine, right? He just went to Egypt. And, you know, I'm joining all these groups. I have a group of my own, as like, you know, Serenity, my Facebook page, of course, and Esoteric Utopia is the name of my group. If you want to join, you can join. Feel free to. I'm looking for new members. I share wonderful esoteric topics just as I do on YouTube, do on Facebook as well. So now back to the story. He went to Egypt, him and I think a family member or whatever, and posted some pictures, started posting pictures. He's got pictures, he's in Kemet, he's posting pictures of the pyramids, and my mind is blown away. Everybody else who's looking at this stuff is like, wow, what an unbelievable experience that must be, right? So one picture he posts in like on the outskirts of the desert in the front of the pyramids, right? And they're all on camels. There's about maybe 12, 15 camels. You know, that's the mode of transportation at that point. It's a hot sunny day and all of the camels just sit down to rest. They just curl down there. I'm gonna put a picture of that. But the amazing part about that is the moment I saw that picture, the story, the book, The Alchemist, popped up in my mind, and I literally saw the picture. Now, I read The Alchemist maybe about 3 years ago. I read it, and it was a great book. It was one of the best books I've read. And as long ago as that was, that scene, that picture, that moment stood out in my mind so clear, so like, it was like when I read the book, it was as if I was there myself. And 3 years ago, when I saw that picture, it was like, it gave me chills. Look at the goosebumps on my arms. It gave me chills. I was like, oh my God, I had to post that. I was like, I had to comment. I was like, oh my God, it is just like in The Alchemist. They're resting, just like, so cool, so awesome. What an unforgettable experience that must be. That's what I said. So he was like, he responded, he was like, you know, yeah, that was one of my favorite reads too. The power of reading. Okay, my daughter loves to read. School is closed now, so I have to kind of remind her to stay in the books, but during school, every week she had a new book. She was excited to take her old book in and get a new one, and she got some good sized books at 8 years old. She's reading like almost 200-page books and stuff like that. So I'm really proud and impressed. I'm impressed about that, because that's a habit I would like to see her grow up with and continue to have, and because she will see the magic of knowledge. Knowledge is power, okay? So pruning the vine is what we call it, what I would call it. You know, you read, you take in new information, you look at other people's perspective on a certain topic. 10 people can write a book on the same topic, and it will be 10 different ways you will see that topic afterward, because no one is going to express their feelings or their views the exact same way as someone else. We're all unique and individual. So you have to control your thoughts, go to seminars, take in as much information as you can. If you meet successful people, ask them questions, write stuff down. Don't just sit there and like be in awe at how much money you could imagine they have. Like, they're not going to tell you how much they're worth. So actually get some worth out of them by asking them questions. Like, don't just sit there and be intimidated because they're rich. Like, you know, they're people just like me and you. And in fact, that leads me to number 3. That is the next secret. You want to hang out with people like that. You want to hang out with more successful souls. You want to hang out with individuals who are masters of their mind, who are learning how to master this whole thing called life, who are mastering money, who are mastering their emotions, who can teach you something, who can elevate you and take you to some other place higher than where you are currently. You know, this is a known fact that the 5 closest people that you have around you determine, you know, where you're going to go, determine your wealth, determine your even, I think, determine your attitude. So you want to start seeking out better company, better friends. And it's not saying you're going to get rich and switch like black people like to say. It's about bettering your circle, okay? It's about improving and growing and fancifying and strengthening your circle. Because now, what's the point of having 5 of you and 5 people are going to drown if the boat sinks? How 5 of us are going to die? Okay, I need somebody who knows how to swim to be in my circle. Someone who actually has maybe lifeguard qualifications. Somebody who may have a life vest. Someone who can help the situation, okay? So that was 3. 4. This is something of Napoleon Hill's that I read. That was about maybe 4 years ago. I didn't read it. I read it, but I read it about 8 years ago. But I watched the video on YouTube, of course, of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And, the master key. It wasn't Think and Grow Rich. It was the master key to success. I'm not sure if that was Napoleon Hill anymore. I have to check. But anyways, the master key. And he's talking about having a positive mental attitude. This is very important because a lot of people are very abrasive. A lot of people are rude. A lot of people have not learned certain social skills, have not learned manners and respect, don't know how to respect themselves. So you have to learn these things, and it starts with you in order for you to bring that out into your reality, into the real world. You need to be able to do these things within your home. You need to be able to be likable, basically. Like, because you're rich or because you're seeking to be rich doesn't mean you have to be a dick. It doesn't mean you have to be a jackass. It does not mean that, because you're not going to stay rich if you continue to be that way, okay? I know somebody who is a complete jackass, who is really the most abrasive cunt you've ever seen in your life. Where are they today? Not rich. Why? Because they're not likable. They can't get people to work with them. They can't get people to help them. They can't get people to do them favors and stuff because they're not likable. So in order for people to like you, you need to be likable. Just like in the Bible with the Apostle Paul talks about being friendly, having friends. You need to be first friendly, So people need to be able to like you. People need to be able to approach you, have a decent conversation with you, not feel like, you have a superiority complex or anything. So you have to work on that. Work on your attitude, work on yourself. It's not to be going around laughing with everybody and cracking jokes. It's, and it's also not about taking yourself so super stiff and serious every day of your life, but it's a balance. It's a fine line right there between, you know who you are. You're confident enough to just walk with a smile. You're smiling on the inside as well as on the out. When you meet somebody, you greet them with love. You greet them with a smile. You greet them with, your eyes are smiling. You're not just hello, business, let's do business. You're sociable. You care about people. You're compassionate. You're considerate. That's all of this is being likable now. You're honest. You're open. You're friendly. You're real. You're understanding. You're patient. All of this. You're not a great saint, perfect, but you are likable. Number 5. Now, people talk a lot about tithing. People talk about giving 10% to the church and all that. But we know nowadays the church's reputation has changed somewhat. And people are awakening to some other truths and becoming more self-reliant. They're not really relying on the church so much anymore. People still are, especially where I live. But at the same time, rich people, one of the rare secrets of the rich, of course, is they pay themselves first. You can't go out and expect to buy grocery, pay all the bills, give the kids lunch money, fix the car fender, and then pay yourself. What are you going to have left for yourself? Nothing after that. Nothing. Trust me, the universe will find everything for you to spend on if you don't pay yourself first. So you have to make yourself a priority. You have to actually give yourself that 10%, put that aside, save it, invest it, save it, keep it, just keep it. And, you know, of course, there's rainy days when you have to go dip into your little stash or whatever, but sometimes you don't. So you don't. You develop that discipline to keep it there. That is your payment. That is for you, okay? It's for me and for you. And of course, this is something that, this was not a part of my list originally, but speaking of the tithing, right? The tithing, after you paid yourself, I think it's very important, and I think it's also a secret of the super rich, to give, and it comes back. Whatever you're seeking, give more of that. And it's going to magically reciprocate. It's going to magically bounce right back to you. So if you're giving off a stink attitude, chances are that's what you're going to get back. But on the topic of giving, on the topic of money, on the topic of paying yourself, give other people as well. Let that be your tithing. If you don't really believe in going to church and all that kind of stuff, give to others. Be able to help somebody. Do something without expecting it in return. Don't do it to get something back. Do it out of the goodness out of your heart, and that is where it is most powerful. Okay? Number 6. Communication. Communication is so very important. So communication, you can't really get anywhere without being able to properly communicate. You can't express your thoughts, your ideas, your plans. You can't express anything without being able to communicate. Communication, of course, we know is in 2 parts. It's listening, it's the listening, and the expressing of yourself, of your ideas. So learn to become a good communicator. Learn to market yourself. Learn to be able to put yourself out there. Learn to be able to negotiate. Learn to kind of bartering a little bit sometimes. Learn to be able to persuade someone to see your point of view, and it's not being forceful. It's just it's doing it out of a loving place where they're going to understand, hey, that's true, because you're not intimidating them. You're doing it from a calm, pleasant place of love. You're neutral. You're just, stating your case, and they're going to understand that. And then, of course, being a good finisher at the end is equally important, because after you've persuaded, you've negotiated, you've marketed, you've done all this, it's time to close the deal now. So you're going to have to continue that and straight to the end until they're signing and, passing each other white cake at the end of the deal. All right? When I started doing these YouTube videos, I didn't really start to do videos to make money, because I know the money is small. You need hundreds of thousands of views on videos and stuff like that to actually make a substantial income. But at the same time, I do it because I love it, and I do it so that I can get better. I do it so that I'm able to speak. I do it so that, like I said, I love sharing with you guys. I love sometimes even just motivating myself. I'm listening to these things. It's amazing to go back and see yourself 3 years ago, and you're like, wow, and I was talking sense. But I also do it to help my communication skills, to be able to express myself eloquently, articulately, and of course still remain true to who I am. I've always talked like this. I mean, I have a little dialect, of course, but generally this is the real me. Communication skills is very important, because you have to be able to have an open dialogue with people. Like I said, when you try to change up your circle and you get better friends, more successful people in your group, you're going to have to be able to communicate with them, because they're not going to even be interested in spending time with you if you can't talk, or if you don't know how to talk, or so that's important. Number 7, money management. Money management. We need to know this is really important, because a lot of us, this is where we go wrong, managing our money. In order to manage money properly, we need to reduce what we're spending. We need to reduce our expenses. We need to increase income. We need to increase sources of income. Okay, and that does not mean running around like a chicken with no head, looking for every opportunity to grab money, being an opportunist, That's not what I'm talking about, because I know people like that. They will do anything. They will actually sell you skin off of their back to make $1. Like, and that's wrong. That's, you missed the mark, basically. You know, the Garden of Eden is in our heads, it's in our minds, okay? And we need to weed out all of those little crabby little like prickly weeds and stuff that are suffocating the roots of our good plants. We need to weed those out, and we need to cultivate our garden, okay? Stop being so grabalicious. Stop being greedy. Focus on doing what you love. Focus on the things that matter to you. Not every dollar that comes along is meant for you, okay? Think about that. But managing money, like I said, is about seeking out opportunities for wealth creating opportunities. You know, so you want to improve your expenses, like I said, increase your income, decrease your debt, decrease all the bank loans, decrease all of those things, decrease crediting from the little local mom and pop shop, decrease those things, because those are going to keep you broke. All right. Whoops, just went on there. Number 8. Well, this is kind of like number 7, but it's living below your means. A lot of us look at all of the stuff on social media. We look at all of the things on the internet, on TV, on media in general, and we think we have to live like the Kardashians. We think we have to, like, in order to look like we make some kind of sense to anybody, we have to like play like we are rich. We have to try to fake it until we make it. Like, if you keep faking it that deep, you ain't gonna never make it, okay? Because you're gonna be broke. Deep down in the hole, broke. The Kardashians, I was just looking at, Kim Kardashian has like a couple $100 million, right? And most of her money, she has so many means of income. She has like, of course there's Dash. Of course, Keeping Up with the Kardashians has been on forever. She has, you know, stuff that she does in magazines, you know, photo shoots. She does appearances at like nightclubs and parties and things like that. She does all kinds of things. She has like makeup lines. She has things now that are nails, like all kinds of stuff. She has an app. There are so many ways this beautiful lady is making so much money. And it started off, of course, it's all about her look. It's all about her image. And what I love is that she's stuck to that. You know, she's not all over the place. Even though she's doing a lot of things, it still falls under one category, basically, beauty. You know? So if we try to live like Kim, chances are we're not gonna never reach Kim's level financially, okay? So we have to get to Kim's level before we can start to live like Kim. All right, Kim K. Love you, Kim, but I'm just saying, I'm talking to some people out here because they need to hear this, all right? People have heard a long time, you know, a long time ago, my grandma included, told me, you know, always live within your means. And this is something Kevin Trudeau talks about. It worked back then to some degree, but now that you look back on it, you realize that it didn't work at all. You realize that they died alone, broke, and unhappy, dissatisfied. So we gotta live somewhat below our means in order to be able to save, in order to be able to invest, in order to, you know, have something left, to have a nest egg. We can't just keep spending. There are people who would go and gamble. They have $10 left on them. They haven't eaten dinner yet. Their family hasn't eaten yet. They would go to the number house and they would put that $10 on 2 numbers or 1 number even, straight and boxed. And they lose and they come home with no money. That kind of thinking just, it really irritates me, because, you know, it's like you want to be poor. Nobody should want to be poor. Being poor is like a sin. Being poor should be like a crime. Being poor, I wouldn't say a crime, but like a sin, because I don't want you to get locked up for being broke. But because I'd be locked up a lot. But a sin, rather, because Mentally, I think you're missing the mark. I think we have to like focus and get our minds right in order for us to see this abundant flow that is promised. I think it starts up here. Okay? We have to live below our means, because if we're spending everything we get, what are we going to keep? Number 9, utilizing other people's money. This is another thing that Trudeau talks about that a lot of us kind of overlook. We don't kind of overlook it. We really overlook it a lot of times. Like, we'd rather spend ours, right? But this is the secret, one of the rare secrets of the rich. They utilize other people's money because money is actually meant to be circulated. Money is not meant to be still and stuck in the possession of one person. So other people's money now is what is going to create this feed, is going to create a constant stream of money. And it's not always going to come out of your pocket. You know, it's like a give and take kind of thing. Hand go, hand come. And that's what keeps the things generating the way they're supposed to. Number 10 or 9, 11, whatever. This is 11. Using corporations and trusts to protect your assets. That's another important point, because, you know, some government shutdown could happen, some tax like invasion, you could get like in serious problems and lose all of the money that you have, or most of the money that you have, or some marital or insurance issue goes wrong and now you're next to broke. So you need to seek out ways. You know, you have financial advisors, you know, you have investment, what's the name I'm looking for, of investment companies that actually help you with your wealth management. And we have a lot of those around here where I live, but you need to have a certain amount of wealth in order to even venture into that aspect of it. But I know certain people who are able to do that for you, and it's very important, I think, to look into those kind of things, because that's what separates the average people from the not so average wealthy people. Number 11, number 12, number 13, number 12. I said number 12. Use the law of attraction. This is my favorite part, because this, of course, as you know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I am a law of attraction person. I am into LOA all the way, okay? You have to be able to envision in your mind what it is that you seek. You have to imagine it. You have to create it and make it real mentally. Then you have to also get into the feeling of having it, of being it, or of doing it. The law of attraction is a part, it's a nifty way of creation. It is manifesting from the mind, from the magic of your mind. And that's what the law of attraction really is. Using your mind to connect with the one mind, because there is one mind. You know, you might think you're such an individual, but there's one mind. And when you connect with that one mind, you know, and you get into the feeling of it, you create it and make it real within yourself, then it starts to become more and more real each and every day. And it's something, like I said, pruning the vine. You have to continuously do it. It's not something you just do once or twice and expect it to just pan out. You have to continuously do it. It's like being a constant gardener, like I said, for the garden of Eden, that garden of creation, which is your mind. Okay? So use the law of attraction, get to know the law of attraction, because it is real. It was some esoteric thing one time ago, but now everyone is kind of coming towards the line of knowing that, hey, this is something that is substantially true. This works, okay? But you have to be persistent. You have to stick with it, okay? And like I said, that's another thing in creating wealth. Being persistent. You can't just stop at the first sign of discouragement. You can't just give up. You have to be persistent. You have to stick with it, and you have to let people know that this is who you are. This is what you're doing. This is what you're developing, and this is you. Okay? I looked at something the other day. This is what lets me know that we're on the right track, that things are going to work out, and that it's coming together, really coming together magically. I was talking to my mom the other day about vegetables. I was in the garden watering some plants and stuff, and then I showed her some cucumbers and stuff like that I picked, and what else? Peppers, cucumbers, it was something else, cabbage, and I'm growing some more Swiss chard and stuff like that. So the other day she said, "Oh wow, you're really into vegetables," and I'm like, "Yeah, I might soon go vegan." So my mom-in-law passed by, and she brought me some stuff, some like baby carrots, some little thingums, some little what do you call them, cartons of baby carrots. They have baby carrots, snow peas, cauliflower, broccoli, all of those little bite-sized veggies, right, with the little ranch dressing on the side. And it's amazing, when I finished talking to my mom afterward, I realized a lot of people nowadays somehow seem to just think of me when they have extra vegetables. And I know this is really off topic. It sounds off topic, but it's very related to the topic. They think of me when they have extra veggies and fruits and stuff, and they just bring them to me. And sometimes the fridge is like packed with vegetables and fruits. Then I'm still picking stuff from outside. I'm still, So, but the point I'm trying to make here is that eventually, the more you stick to these things, the practices, the more you develop them from within your mind and become them, the more people are going to actually feel that from you, and people are going to believe that that's who you are. Eventually, it's going to come into play. It's going to actually come together and make sense like a picture. So you have to be persistent. You have to keep on keeping on. You have to keep training your mind. You have to keep pruning the vine. You have to keep seeing what you want to see become reality. You have to continue to do that. And I promise you will see changes. You will see changes. You will see results. It's bound to happen. Okay? I am in a place right now. I am learning a lot of new things. I'm trying so hard not to share everything, but at the same time, I know what to share and what not to share. Okay? Some things you ought to keep personal, but at the same time, these things we need to know. We need to share. We need to get them out there. Some books I recommend reading, or that Kevin Trudeau also recommends reading, I have to put together a list so that I can put it in the description, is, of course, these are the ones that I know, that I've read, that are going to help you on your journey, in your quest for, developing true wealth and developing your mind to a wealthy mindset. It's not about just the tangible. It's not just about having money. It's about, having this be the most powerful thing that we have, having this be operating at its optimal levels, having this be, doing its job awesomely, having this be done right, basically. So the 3 books that I have here, he talks about maybe 5 or 6 of them, but I'm gonna try to find them and put them in the description. Think and Grow Rich, that's number 1 by Napoleon Hill. That was a great book. The Law of Success in 16 Lessons. That one is also by Napoleon Hill, but Trudeau says that one has a lot of the information that Think and Grow Rich doesn't. So he recommends that you read that one first. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read that. That was about maybe 10 years ago. That was a great book. And it opens your mind up to how limited we can become because of our surroundings, because of our friends, our environment, because of our experiences and stuff. So let's just start finding knowledge. Let's seek knowledge, okay? Knowledge is power. And in order to be able to help anything change, and in order for you to be able to do anything of importance, of notice, you're going to need money. You're going to either need other people's money, or you're going to need your own money, or you're going to need both. So we need to do this while we have a chance, while we're young and vibrant, let's just start making the changes necessary. They're gonna put us on a stratosphere above the rest. So guys, thanks for watching this video. I'm so wonderfully appreciative. I will be back talking about another great topic, because that's what I do, and I shall see you then. Peace and love, and blessed be till I get back.